What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be returning to the Duelist Nexus set to cover another deck that I didn't get a chance to do. But first, if you're a fan of in-depth combo videos, new set coverage, and occasional fun stuff that we like to do on the channel, then take a moment to greet those thumbs up and subscribe buttons and then do a little fiery dance with them for a little while, before finally clicking on them and taking them to the Great Mikanko ceremony. To begin, we'll start by using the Fury and the Bird, and these are two important cards in this combo just for a reason that I'll talk about in a second, as we're going to use the effect of the Fury in order to get our Spiriting Away, and the Spiriting Away is a trap card, the first card that I'll be reading over out of two. The second one I'll be reading in the deck profile because it's not something that you really need for the strategy. This one reads, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, equip that face-up monster to one Mikanko monster you control as an equip spell, then, if a ritual monster card is on the field, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each equip spell you control. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one of your Mikanko monsters that is banished or in your hand. You can only use each effect of Spiriting Away once per turn. And this is really nice because the Bird happens to have an effect where you can revive a Mikanko, and if it leaves the field, it gets banished, and that's just something that happens to go with this card's graveyard effect, but then you also have the ability to snatch steal an opponent's monster in order to equip it to one of your Mikankos, and then trigger off a Mikanko effect, not only becoming a disruption, but a potential advantage gainer as well. So we'll then be able to go into our Almirage, and this is something that you don't have to do, but you can if you want to protect your Mikanko, even though it does get protected by the Bird in the same way since it can't be destroyed by card effects, so I guess it's just double protection. Still worth noting that you can do because you won't always just have one Mikanko on board though. So we'll then set the Spiriting Away and end our turn on this. Now this second combo will be the first of 3 iterations, and I'll start this one by activating the prep. This does play into Droll pretty hard, and the deck does kind of get hit hard by Shifter as well. That said, with the cards that we were able to get, we're able to play a more pure strategy, which is something I thought was really cool for this deck, as we're going to activate the Ceremony, bring out the Ohime, use the effect of Ceremony to send the Fury, use the effect of Bird in order to get back our Fury, then we can activate the Fury because we equip the Bird to it, get ourselves the Spiriting Away, we can set the Spiriting Away, and end our turn on this. Now, for this third combo, we have the second iteration, and this one we're going to start again with the prep. We can use its effect in order to get the Ohime, use the effect of the Ohime, much like the last one to get our Ceremony, use the effect of the Ceremony in order to get ourselves the Ohime, then we can activate the Ceremony in the graveyard to send the Arabesque, and now we'll use the effect of Ohime in order to get back the Arabesque, use the Arabesque in order to bring out the Fury. Because the Arabesque is now equipped to the Fury, we can use the effect of the Fury in order to get ourselves Spiriting Away, we can set the Spiriting Away, and end our turn on this. Now for the final iteration, and the fourth combo of the video, we have the Preparation of Rites plus the Bird again, and we'll get ourselves the Ohime, we can then use the effect of Ohime in order to add ourselves a copy of Ceremony, we'll then use Ceremony in order to special summon out Ohime, as we can now use the effect of the Ceremony to send the copy of Arabesque, as we'll use the effect of the Ohime in order to get back the Arabesque, use the Arabesque in order to special summon out the Hare, and now we can get back the Ohime, as we'll be able to use the effect of the Hare in order to get ourselves into Bird. And now this is something that you don't have to do but can, but you can also equip the Bird onto the Hare here, and we'll be able to end our turn on this. Now for this next combo, we have Ohime along with Fiery Dance, and we're going to start this one by using the effect of Ohime in order to get our Hare, pitching the Ohime, then we can use the Fiery Dance to bring out the Hare, then use the effect of Hare, which will allow us to get the Arabesque, activate the Arabesque, which will allow us to get a copy of Fury on board, as we're then going to be able to get the effect of Fury, which will allow us to get into the Spiriting Away. So that's just another cool way that you can do it. Then you have the ability to normal summon your Hare if you would like to, and you can even turn it into an Almirage, as we can then end our turn on this. Now for this next combo, we have Hare along with Arabesque, and this is something that you'll notice about the deck. A lot of the combos are very simplistic, and they're very straightforward into what you want to do. As we're going to get our Bird, we can then get ourselves the Fury. The Fury will be able to get ourselves into Spiriting Away, and now we just have some follow-up through Hare and the Fascinating Bird, which again, I'm activating because if you want to protect your Fury, then you can. But with that, I'll take you on to the next combo. Now for this next one, we have Fury along with Arabesque, and you'll notice that much like the previous one, this is going to be very simplistic and straight to the point, as well as we can use the Fury to get our Spiriting Away, use the Arabesque in order to get the Hare. The Hare will give us access into another equip spell, as we'll be able to get the Fiery Dance, as we also have the Fury in hand from the Arabesque, and then we can set the Spiriting away. Now, for this next combo, and this is the only one I believe that will show the Libromancer stuff, and I did want to show the variant of this because if you don't want to play the pure version because of not having enough board presence, then that's understandable. So we'll get the Geek off of the fire, as we'll use the effect of Geek now, as we'll be able to special summon it. This does play into Droll harder though, as we get the Origin. We're then going to use the Origin in order to get ourselves the copy of the field spell. We can then activate the field spell to get our Doom Broker. Then we can activate the field spell, as we'll be able to bring out our Doom Broker. Then we can use the Doom Broker in order to get our Intervention, as that gives us an Omni Negate. Then we can use the effect of Ohime, as we can get ourselves Ceremony, pitching the bird, activate the Ceremony, which will allow us to special summon out the Ohime, use the Ceremony sending the Fury or the Arabesque. It depends on what you want to send, but we'll then use the effect of the Ohime to get the Arabesque, and then we can activate the Arabesque in order to get ourselves the copy of Fury from deck instead of sending it via the Ceremony and then reviving it with bird. And now we can get the Spiriting away, and with that we can set the Spiriting away and end our turn on this. Now for the first of two test hands, and I do want to show how this deck plays with full hands. As you saw, the options are simplistic, but there's a lot of them, and we're going to start this one by using the Ohime's effect in order to add ourselves the Ceremony. We can then activate the Ceremony as we pinch the Hare. Then we can use the effect of the Ceremony in order to send ourselves the bird, as we'll then use the bird in order to bring back the Hare, as we equip the bird to it, which will be able to get us the Rondo. And now we can activate the Arabesque in order to use the effect of Arabesque, and that'll allow us to get the Fury, which will banish the Hare. And then from here we can use the effect of the Fury, which will get us the Spiriting away, and now we can set the Spiriting away and end our turn on this. Now for the final hand, and you'll see that we do have Super Poly in here, so that's kind of a spoiler, but going to start by activating the Ceremony, special summoning out the Ohime. We can then use the Ceremony, which will allow us to send the Arabesque. We can then use the effect of the Ohime in order to get the Arabesque. Then we can activate the Arabesque, get the Fury, and then we can return the Ohime, as we'll use the Fury in order to get ourselves the Spiriting away. We'll then activate Reinforcement of the Army, as we're going to be able to get ourselves another copy of Hare, and this is kind of important because we're going to be able to pitch it off the Ohime, as we're going to activate the Fiery Dance, bringing out the Hare from the graveyard. Then we can use the Hare, which will net us a search for the bird, as we can then set the Spiriting away. You can activate the bird if you would like to, but from here we'll be able to end our turn on this. And keep in mind, you can of course also set the Super Poly, but this is meant to be just a replay with the Mikanko stuff. Now with all of the combos out of the way, we can get onto the deck profile. The first one is the pure version, where we just max out on everything we kind of want to in regards to the consistency cards through Arabesque, Ceremony, along with the Ohime, but then we also play 2 of each of the Fury and 2 of the Hare, along with 2 of the Fiery Dance and 2 of the Bird, with 1 of the Nini and 1 of the Reflection Rondo. And the reason for this is because since you're playing the pure version, you want to be able to get into one of your traps consistently, and you don't want to clog on them either, so I think the 2-2 ratios are just fine. You're also able to play cards like Prosp and Prep, which again, you're playing heavily into Droll this way, and it's something that you can accommodate for if you want to play more of a cross-out build. Maybe you can take out the Super Polys for other stuff you may want to cross out as well. With that said, I don't really have too much to say about the deck outside of the Magician's Soul stuff, which is a nice boost of consistency for this deck. The fact you're just able to special summon it, get your equips to the graveyard and stuff like that, in order to get those extra draws to get you into a potential Super Poly or Droll, can be really important in the structure of your end board. And then also, I would like to read over this next new card. We have Arahime, the Manifested Mikanko. It's another ritual monster, and it reads, you can ritual summon this card with Mikanko Kagura. Cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving this card. If you have this card in your hand or graveyard, and another Mikanko card is in your graveyard, you can target one face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it as an equip spell. You can only use this effect of Arahime once per turn. Once per turn during the end phase, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can return this card and the equipped monster to the hand. So it's a cute but slow form of removal, and it's something that I just don't feel that we needed in this deck, because it's something that if you draw, you can't do anything with anyways, unless you happen to have the Mikanko card in graveyard, which just sets you back potentially on being able to do something on turn 1, so that's why that's not in there. And I also would like to point out that if you do play Bestials, you can play the Drudge or even something like Beatrice or any other rank 6, because the Ohime is also level 6, and it becomes really easy to make them. But with that, I'll just get onto the card by card before taking you all into the Libromancer version. And we have the 3 Ohime, the 3 Arabesque, the 3 Ceremony, the 3 Prep, the 1 Called By, the 1 Reinforcement of the Army, the 2 Bird, the 2 Hare, or the 2 Fury, the 2 Hare, the 2 Fiery Dance, the 3 Super Poly, Thrust and 2 Talents, the 3 Droll, the 3 Prosp. We then have the 1 Reflection Rondo, the 1 Nini, the 1 Promise, the 1 Souls, the 1 Illusion of Chaos, the 1 Spiriting Away. Onto the extra deck, we have Levier, the Phantom Knight, Breaksword, the Downward Magician, Zeus, Mud Dragon, Gurura, Dragos Depelia, Draco Equist, Almirage, Dagger, Nightmare Phoenix, Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, Avramax, and Underworld Goddess. Onto the Libromancer version of the build, and this one is kind of cool because you can play more going second cards. That said, there is the downside of only playing one of each of the monsters, so you can't really center your strategy on the Spiriting Away and stuff like that because you're not always going to get into it. That being said, Ohime does become a more important card in this version just because it is the heart and soul of the Mikanko stuff that you'll be seeing the most. There's also cards like the Fire Burst that you can play for going second if you want to do that. Things like the Kaiju Slumber with Kaijus if you want to do that. You'll also see that I'm not on Thrust Talents. That's something that you can take out for the Super Polys, but again, that's dependent on what you want to do. Outside of that, everything is just the same except that you're focusing to get your Libromancer stuff on board to give you more board presence than what you saw with the Mikanko combos. In this particular build, the Beatrice also becomes better, because not only can you bring it out with the Agent, which is level 6, or the Doom Broker if you have to, but because you're playing less Mikankos, it just becomes more important to see whatever you want to see more consistently. There's things like Prosperity that you can also play in this build, but because we're playing the Libromancer engine, I just didn't want to overmax on consistency and not play enough going second cards, so that's why that's not in the main deck, even though the extra deck really doesn't matter like that. And then finally, I'll get you onto the card by card because I just don't have much else to say that you guys didn't see in the combos. So we have the 3 Ohime, the 3 Preparation of Rites, the 3 Ceremony, the 2 Field Spell along with the 1 Origin, 2 Fire and 2 Geeks. We have 1 Illusion of Chaos and 1 Souls, the 2 Arabesque, the 1 Reflection Rondo, the 1 Fiery Dance, the 1 Bird, Fury, Hare, and Nini, the 1 Promise, and the 1 Spiriting Away. We then have the 3 Droll, the 3 Super Poly, the 3 Imperms, the 1 Agent, the 1 Doom Broker, and the 1 Intervention to round out the main deck. Onto the extra deck we have Mud Dragon, Gurura, Dragos Depelia, Draco Equist, Breaksword, Hounded Magician, Beatrice, Zeus, Almirage, Dagger, Masquerena, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, Appaloosa, and Underworld Goddess to round out the deck profiles. So for everyone who's made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching and for the 600 plus subs. I truly appreciate your support. We've monetized the channel, giving us access to supers and memberships, which means that more awesome stuff is on the horizon. Get the channel membership, just click on the description below and there will be a link that takes you there. You'll also notice a free Discord link that I've made for us too. If you want to support me as a content creator, even if you can't donate supers or get a membership for the channel, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons help a lot too. For those wondering, I do plan on making updates to the channel as the support on the channel grows. Anyways, I hope to see you on the next one. It's Bones, signing out.